Hello, this is John Locke from Lockedown Design, and today I want to talk with you for just a few minutes about what it means to position yourself as a brand and why that is so important for SEO. Many years ago, SEO was much simpler. In the late 90s and early 2000s, all you really had to do to rank would be to repeat keywords and build more backlinks to your site than your competitors. As we head into the 2020s, SEO has become a lot more sophisticated, and one of the things that you have to do is position yourself as a brand. And what do I mean by that? There are certain characteristics that large brands have that smaller companies do not. For example, large brands invest in content strategy. They have content on their site that's aimed at each stage of the sales cycle. Large brands anticipate the needs of their customers, meaning they answer pre-sales questions. They have information that's there for you when you're about to make a buying decision. And they have content that addresses how you would use their products and services post-sales. In other words, large brands understand how their customers are finding them, the questions that they have prior to making a purchase, the objections that their customers would have before making a purchase, and applications that they would want to use their product for. And so they have content that's built up around all of these things. And what do I mean by content? I mean written content, video content, how-tos, tutorials, frequently asked questions. It could be podcasts, white papers, PDFs, anything that's going to answer a question or address a concern. Another thing that big brands do is they continually invest in re-improving not only their website, but all facets of their marketing. The biggest brands on the planet invest in TV commercials, sponsoring large events, naming stadiums. Perhaps your brand is not at that level yet. Perhaps your brand will never be at that level. But you should seek to do things that larger brands do. Whatever your marketing material is, make sure that your marketing materials reflect the quality that your brand represents. Another thing that brands do is they're involved in their community. Large brands give back to the communities that they serve. They sponsor events, they donate to charities, they join their local chambers of commerce. They're seen as community leaders who are visible. Large brands are engaged in certain activities all the time. They might have a careers page on their website. They have privacy statements. They have terms and conditions on their website. Large brands have branded email addresses. They don't use Gmail, they don't use Yahoo, they don't use Hotmail. They use a branded domain email address. Another characteristic of large brands is they're always seeking a positive publicity, whether that's TV appearances, maybe it's a segment on a radio show, on an industry podcast, guest posting on another site. Large brands are also doing things such as releasing press releases when they hire key staff. You might see news about a big brand when they introduce a new product. If they open a new facility or a new office, you're going to see those things both in press releases, in industry news, maybe your local news, something like a business journal. These are characteristics of large companies that are doing things. And why are all these things important to SEO? They add up into what we call brand signals. Google and other search engines are much more intelligent about how they assess sites. They use human quality search rater guidelines. They use humans basically to evaluate sites. The idea is to make search engines choose the same things that a human would. The idea is not to trick the search engines into thinking you're the best result. The idea is to be the best result. In order to do that, you have to have the depth of information on your site. You have to look like you're competing with the larger brands in your space, because the large brands have depth of organization, of content, and of service. They're more likely to be able to service your customers. So to compete with them, you have to think strategically, what things can we win on? How can we be of better service to our customers? Another thing that large brands do is they anticipate what their customers are looking for when they come to their site. So it's very important to have means of contacting them or anticipating what a customer is going to need when they come to a particular page on your site. Keywords have intention. When people type certain phrases into a search engine, they might have different intentions. One search might be an informational search. Another might be a search where they're trying to buy either a product or hire someone to do a service for them. So understanding the intention behind a certain search phrase is going to help you craft a better page and a better experience for people who are coming to your site. All in all, the idea is to punch above your weight. If you're trying to compete with larger brands that are in your industry or they're in your location, the idea is to be more helpful to your customers and think of ways that you can do that through both information on your site, user experience, and anticipating your customers' needs. You also want to be always self-promoting, so you're trying to grow your business legitimately and not only be perceived as a bigger brand, but to become a bigger brand. If you have any follow-up questions, you can find me at my website, which is lockdowndesign.com. This is John Locke signing off.